And we're in. Taking this pistol round away. Astralis versus 500. And we move on in. We're going to see a bit of a faster play coming out of the Astralis camp as they're going to make their way all the way into cave. There is a setup here, though, between Denislaw and Ships. But no one's going to test it just yet. Just taking the control, and now they want to execute. Now they want to put on the pressure here on the Bulgarian. And they're going to begin their stampede up the B ramp. Into the site they go. And the taps are in. Christo's good on it. Ships attacking one, though, on his dual Berettas. Zipex does get the trade and makes it a 3 versus 3, but the flanks start to activate as well. And Patrick will find his on the dualies. It's finding so much success. Another headshot and a pistol round for 500. It's clean as can be. So that'll be the 1-0 start here for 500. And Astralis have to start this game on the back foot. They were so good on the pistol rounds earlier on in the day. Both of their wins coming off the back of, collecting every single pistol round. So now it's a bit of a different story.
Yeah.
As 500 will be able to pick up a bit of an eco purchase.
Yeah, a bit of a bonus here.
Anti-eco, rather.
Yeah. Astralis on the T side, obviously gonna have a bit of a tougher start, you'd think. Well, they've been able to pick up the slack in some of their previous Ancient games. We spoke about Astralis. It was, for a long period of time, Ancient was kind of awkward for them, right? Because at some point they were even in the conversation for the best Ancient team in the world, but that was because, at some point I feel like Config was the best Ancient entry in the world and maybe the best player, but I feel like even in, his last, let's say, 2 months in the team, it started being a little bit lacking. He was just too big of a win condition for them to have any success with it.
Yeah, I think that he found out the proper way to entry out towards middle and out and towards the site. Found all the good pathing, what smokes you need to use, and theoried the whole thing out. He's responsible for the meta and how teams really approach that mid attack. So it's really it was an innovator on this map of Ancient, and really only this map of Ancient. He defined how he plays it because people saw how successful he was, and you can see teams always trying to replicate it with the smoke on towards the molly and the flashes to follow up. So we'll see, but right now it's going to be Astralis facing off against the bonus buy of 500. Only MP9s, a cobbling of utility, and, well, no more Patrick, evidently, as Glaive will deal with them, but there is a trade in from Nikki. So Astralis still have many things to consider in this round with a mid-end of the clock.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a fake. The bomb was all the time down towards middle, so it is a little bit of a risk, especially after losing Glaive. You got to regroup. You can't let the bomb play alone. Nikki, he's gonna that's a lovely shot. Spots 2 more. Doesn't really need to get into a fight, and he realizes that he can just stay alive. And look at Chips. He's going to get aggressive. Oh, that's a great move, Zip. He's going to throw the flash, but there's nothing behind that flash, and Chips is going to realize that quite soon.
Oh, sneaking on out. Gets a spot on the Zip. Zip needs an instant headshot, and instead he'll go down to 21 HP and then get finished off by Denislaw. And now they know that this play is going towards B. Nikki holding this massive off angle, instant headshot on a Christo, and Mr. Last One Standing. Just Jacob peeking between the doors. That's really all you can do, all you can hope for, because there's also Rainwaker holding the line, and there it is. The headshot's through. It's a 3-0 start for 500.
Yeah, that was just a great play between Nikki and Ships there, right? I mean, Nikki getting that first kill on the MP9, upgrading onto the AK, getting that crisp headshot onto Flame F. Yeah, just 1 bullet needed. And then falls back, lets Ships take care of it, and they even had the push towards the A-bomb side. So I guess right now Astralis realized that, they're going to be up against a constantly pushing CT side that always looks for empty spaces. And, there is a beneficial side of this approach. You can just start running down the Ts, but again, we've seen that in a couple of the B&E games. As soon as the Ts actually get accustomed to that playstyle, it could get really scrappy.
And right now, I just wanted to take the fight right to him. Ships is going to waltz his way into the red room. And think up on range from Flame F. Follow up there from Rainwaker, continuing the spray, is nice. And we'll keep this round pretty clean here for 500.
Oh, look at the North stickers on the P250. That's a flashback. Rainwaker. Oh, that's a nice shot from Zip. Manages to take him down. That's one for the books. Denny, he's been spotted. Still has an M4. Should have the advantage going into the fight. Crystal's going to be actually able to pick up the rifle. Unfortunately, doesn't have armor, so one bullet in the body is going to be enough here for Danny to get himself into a really good position to win that fight. A couple tags, Crosshair starts dancing. They're actually going to get away with a bomb plant, and Zip drops Danny. That's a lovely round for Astralis. Christo gets the kill onto ships, but Patrick is there with the refrag, and now it's just Zip. The Clutch Minister, 1 versus 2. He's going to get smoked off. Naded in, low on HP, needs to go for the swing. Nicky's just going to stick it on the defuse kit, and Patrick is going to find the shot. Nicky wanted to make sure that he's going to help out his teammate in this fight for good measure. As 500 pick up their 3rd round, or rather 4th round here, and we're back to the buy rounds for Astralis. Yeah, and that was a 2 versus 5 as well. Ships does manage to get that kill. It's still a 5 versus 3. Glaive, Crystal, and Mister in a 3 versus 5, and they're locked out of this one. 500 not really giving them anything to work with in this round. Closing out the distance towards cave now. Astralis, they need to look for an opening back into this, and look at all the empty space, but this is just a diversion. They're just luring them in. It feels like they have the entire map to work with, but in fact, they have nothing. Rainmaker, he's going to spot them out and smoke them off. That's going to force them right into the hands of Nicky, but there's another smoke to isolate him. Ships gets the kill onto Crystal. Mister with 1 more, and now it's just Glaive and Mister. A 2 versus 4, 25 seconds. They gotta get a move on, and Nicky's gonna drop the bomb over towards middle, leaving Mister in a 1 versus 4 clutch. That sadly is never gonna happen. He might actually want to go down before time, and Nicky's gonna make sure of it. A double kill for the IGL. 5 unanswered rounds here for the Bulgarians on the CT side of Enshin, and only losing 1 member is gonna strengthen up the economy massively as well. Astralis not onto the greatest start here. We spoke about that really scary prospect after a pretty disappointing T-side on overpass to start here on the offense of Enshin again. In fact, they've actually won only 1 round in the past 20 that they've played on T-sides here in the tournament. That's crazy to think about.
Just testing to see if I'm back. We'll see if things can keep rolling here. As for now, Danislaw, and it's actually going to get ran down. Mister with a double kill on the entry. And we are still back in. And Nicky, all right, a triple kill in for the 500 boys. Now just leaving Christo in a 1v3, and Ships is going to swing back on through. Christo's down. 500 are now 6-0.
Yeah, welcome back, by the way, Fi.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I truly don't know what happened technically on my end, but it's good to be back and seeing this kind of madness go down.
Yeah, it is. It's been a great start for the Bulgarians. And this is fairly clean as well, right? Once again, they just keep 3 players surviving. Money is going to start to build up. And eventually, Astralis will need to get a move on, right? And Blamef is yet to register a kill, by the way. This could be a massive issue if it continues being like that. Crystal's picked up the AWP on the T side now. Might try to go for a cheeky early opening. Then he has the op on the other side as well. Crystal spots one towards the back. Gonna get a boost there. Knows exactly where Nicky was, but there's no peeks coming his way here.
Patrick not going to stick around actually towards the Jaguar side. He might get caught unawares as they're already walking up into the site. Nicky caught sleeping. And what is a collateral though from Dennis Law to save this round. Man advantage garnered for 500. And Astralis, now Mr. just waiting for his teammates to get into position, but he'll take the time to plant that bomb. 2v3 as it stands, trying to get himself some space to get out of dodge, but now he doesn't have a teammate. A new boy on the block, the move up Mr. to try and put a clutch on the board here for Astralis, but Dennis Law is not letting any of that happen. It is 7-0.
Yeah, he's looked great on the AWP. Rounding back to that Dust 2 game as well. You know, he was top of the board 26-10, I believe he finished that game. And now he's on a 7-3 start. That's been a great CT side for 500 so far. Astralis, at least they make their way onto a bomb side. BlameF is yet to register his first kill. Glaive is on 1-7. Crystal's on 2-7. Zip and Mister, the only two people that have been able to pick up more than 2 kills so far in this game for Astralis. It's been a really devastating one. And even if they're able to find the kills and get themselves onto a bomb side, even when they catch Nicky slipping on the angle there, well, it was still Danny with the collateral. And again, they were just contained on the back of the bomb side now. At least going to be able to go for another reinvestment, but this one's starting to look kind of scary, doesn't it?
And what's the thought process here for Astralis? What are your ideas? Right now, it's not like 500 are playing in your face. You are just getting shut down on the execute.
Yeah, it's so tough to recover after such a tough T side on map number 1. Well, on the previous map that you played.
This gets tough here for Rainwaker. As he is playing inside of the cubby position, but it's not like there's HEs or an extra molly to even force him out. Ooh. But he will try and take the fight. Cristo not blinded by anything, though. That'll be an easy kill, and Ship's now locked out. Astralis finally with an advantage.
Yeah, you've gotten yourselves in a position where you haven't really been in a long time. Nicky's going to get boosted towards Cave, though, on the elevated angle, and it looks like a B finish, potentially. Danny goes aggressive. A nice refrag from Blame. Finally finding his first kill here on Ancient, and this might be enough to actually grant them with a round. Question is, how do they clear out Nicky? Because he's in a really good position for a multi-kill, and if he finds double there, that's going to set up Patrick for even more towards the side.
And Patrick's in a very difficult position and again, there's no molly. So with 20 seconds remaining, Astralis are going to commit to this B site, and Patrick, he goes down instantly. That could have been a very big linchpin in the round, but nothing paying dividends here. Instead, Ship's coming back in rotation. Ship sees an opportunity, and he turns it to a double. All of a sudden, it's Blame with 10 seconds left. Time is ticking, and he needs to plant that bomb or get these kills. And I think he's just forfeited this round. He has forfeited the round over to 500. He'll get the kill, sure. But, I mean, that's cold there from 500, from Ships, no less, and grins across the Bulgarians.
Yeah, look at Chips, ice cold, no face expression whatsoever. He doesn't care about that. He's realized what he's just done. Just picking up 1 versus 1 after 1 versus 1. And BlameF, unfortunately for him, didn't have a lot of chances. By the way, something I find amusing. You know that BlameF is going to be on the lurk in a lot of those rounds. Did you notice how Ships, in the moment that he gets the second kill, turns around to check City spawn? He's like, there's 10 seconds on the clock, but surely that's BlameF. This is a possibility. But no, he just couldn't peek into him. He was already low on HP, wanted to get a favorable fight, but unfortunately for him, the only favorable fight that he did get was against Nicky, and that was well after time. Another round for the Bulgarians. Astralis starting to struggle just a little bit. And that's an interesting prospect. I mean, when you look at it from that point of view, 500 are just 8 rounds away from making their way into the playoffs.
Yeah. And I mean, it hasn't stopped. There's no bomb plant in that round either. So Galils are going to have to be brought out for a couple of the players here for Astralis. Stowe trying to debut with this. That's a great shot. That's a great entry. That's, I mean, they didn't bring him on the team to do that, but He'll do his job just fine. His newfound job as that entry frag. Good opening kill.
Yeah, another 5 versus 4. Couldn't quite convert the previous one. You got to get away with this round, though. You're at this point. This is still a pretty salvageable T side here, right? Even if you're down 8-0, you can still get, let's say, 4 or 5 rounds here, potentially. Even more, but, you know, being realistic, 4 or 5 is completely doable right now for Astralis. But you got to win that first round sooner rather than later.
All Astralis players are more or less stacked out towards the B short and middle area, just keeping options open more or less for the Danes. Oh, whoa, that's great spam. I thought I could have taken down Denislaw there, but instead Nicky now will take an opportunity to push down the ramp, but he's being watched for by Zip. 30 seconds remaining. Time has been burned down.
Look at it,
and
Cole.
5. Oh, I can't believe it. Look at this positioning.
They're walking straight into the stack. This is so dangerous. All 3 500 players are towards that A bomb side. Astralis have no idea.
And Rainwaker's holding the perfect angle. They don't
No
clear
way.
him. And who needs the stack when you just have Rainwaker bomb down inside a donut? Time is ticking too far here. Ted, I think Rainwaker might have just single-handedly done it. 10 seconds remaining, and Denislaw is even there to lock it in. I can't believe it. 9-0 for 500.
Yeah, you can rename him. You can rename him to Rainmaker in this round. He made him cry. What a play towards Donut. Even tries to play the trigger discipline there onto Cristo. Gets the first one, insta headshot onto the second. 500 with the last second desperation stack. That works out great. And it's so scary because even if they didn't actually go for the stack, even if Rainwaker is all alone there, he can still win them the round with that double kill. They still make it work, and that's another tactical timeout. Now, if you're Astralis, what do you say? Because you started with a 2-0 here, you get absolutely devastated on the previous map against Fnatic. You managed to pick up only 1 P-side round, and this one is looking scarily familiar for all of you that did watch that other game. I mean, if you're Castle, what can you say to your teammates right now? What can you say to your team? How do you help them out? That's really tough.
I know, and it's also tough in how that round, Astralis were in a commanding position to win that round as well. Lots of, man advantages and map control to boot, and then it falters in that fashion. Half by territory, we're going to see 10 in a row to start, potentially. Unless, well, Blame F has something to say. It's Ships who takes a lot of flack from that Mac 10, and Ships will drop down low. But the spam through the smoke is so much there from Nicky. And so he's going to go ahead and leap on away. He's done the damage, but it might just be unconfirmed.
Yeah, scary scenes there. Blame F has gotten himself into a good position, but Chips knows that there is a possibility. 14-3 so far for him. Highest rated 500 player at the tournament. 1.2 before the start of this map. Rainwaker was top with a 1.3. He's currently having a good game as well. 7-3 though. Hasn't really been called upon all that much. That previous round was massive from him. And Astralis grouping up with the pistols towards the A-bomb side. Once again to test Denny and Rainwaker.
Yeah, Denislaw has certainly posted. There's no flashes to accompany this push as well. It could just as well be a shooting gallery for Denislaw. Smoke deployed here by Rainwaker. That does allow them to cross, though, and Ships actually does find success, but starting to get cleaned up are the rest of Astralis as Nicky strikes. So does Denny, and just leaving Glaive. A nice first, but that's all. 10-zip.
Yeah, we spoke about the numbers, by the way, of the two IGLs before the start of this game, and how, you know, we don't really expect Nicky and Glaive to be putting on great stats on the board. Well, Nicky's been doing a fair amount of heavy lifting so far. He's on 13-3.
Right now, also, there's just... there's something amiss about the Astralis game as well. We'll talk these gun rounds through, but these little individual moments that we see from 500 are overpowering the tactics we're used to seeing from Astralis.
Yeah.
And there's always this sort of balance between tactics and firepower, and it seems like one is taking prevalence over the other today.
Yeah, just individually, 500 haven't really been given a lot of chances, have they? Blame F. Gonna try and get himself into a good position once again. Middle control pretty much given away for free there.
Ooh, man. Ships Is he going to be ready for this? Oh, he absolutely is. Ship, and he jumped in midair going for that. He stays alive, and that's the only important thing that matters.
That was a
man advantage.
Yeah, he was just trying to fall back, jump spotting towards bottom middle. He had no idea Zip was that close. An absolutely lucky man to be alive still. And it's man advantage. 500, they fall back. Ships, he's thinking about going for the repeat there. Oh, that's crazy.
Man.
That's so unfortunate for Zip. That's painful.
He turned his back towards his opposition, and it makes the kill easy. And Ship on 10 HP has found a second. 3 on the round total. Rainwaker out towards triple. This is just a done and dusted round. Call it quits. 11-0 for 500. Was this the scoreline you were expecting in this matchup?
No,
not me.
No, not absolutely. I don't think a lot of people actually expected this. There's some serious problem on the T-side for Astralis right now. Let me remind you, the last T-side round that they did win was on Overpass, and it was 1. They've played, what is it? It's 26 rounds now that they've played on the T-sides of their games here at the Elisa the Elisa Masters Espoo, and they've won 1 out of those 26. That's crazy. On Overpass and here on Ancient combined. 1 round on the offense.
Yeah.
And it's not like they're even coming close in a lot of those, right? I mean, there was this 1 round that was a 1 versus 1 in the end that BlameF did manage to get the kill onto Nikian, but it was still a 1 versus 2 that, you know, Ships does manage to bring back. But let's say that was the closest round they've had so far this game. That's the only round in which they get 4 kills. Every single one was 3 maximum.
And so the group up towards the A site now. They're just going to throw caution to the wind and just put it down to the play. Icky to hold, but does have Rainwaker by his side to help on out. The flashers do begin to roll on in. It's good utility. While blinded up, Rainwaker can't fight, and Nicky's gonna have to drop his smoke to try and preserve his own. Ships, though, comes back in rotation, and this is the heaviest hitter. Still staying alive as well, dodging at a Tech 9 bolt. The USP is out, and I mean, what is going on? Everyone's blind. No one can see a thing. It's just Glaive all of a sudden. He'll find the 1 headshot, but that's all, and it stays flawless for 500.
Ships are just having fun. He just pulls out his knife. That person was so much. Well, he was away. He was away by far. He tried to chase him down. That was a good amount of distance. That's crazy. They're just having fun right now in the server. And you know, if that one ends up being a 500 win, we could be shaping up for a direct matchup for a place in the playoffs between Astralis and Complexity.
I mean, that is such a real possibility. Because with the win here, 500 guarantee it. Now, Astralis are going to just throw the same type of play, and this time it's only Rainwaker, but he has the pre-fire. He has the pre-aim for the plant. That is out in the middle of the open. He hears it going down, but it's no one in position at all. Rainwaker, things are getting quite heated inside a donut, but he will survive for the moment.
Yeah, it's a 5 versus 5 post plan and retake here for 500. This is the best chance that Astralis have had in the round in a long time, and maybe this is going to be a first. They're just trying to win time at this point. That smoke is going to lock them out for a long period of time. 500, this is going to be such a tough retake.
Bristow posted up on his angle, looking out towards the donut, snipes down the first, trying to do his damnedest as the offer on this post plant. Yeah, the time's run too thin. They're just going to try and start the defuse as soon as possible. I don't even think there's time for that. Defuser has been stopped, and finally, this flawless streak has been broken by Astralis.
Yeah, that was just a good call from Astralis, right? They outmaneuvered 500 for the first time in this half, and they outmaneuvered them completely, not really spending a lot of util on the take itself, so they had a lot of smokes and molotovs going into the post plant, slowed it down quite a lot, and you can see 500, they just started making their way out of donut and towards the bomb site below the 10-second mark, which, you know, you're going to have just 1 shot at getting that defuse. Doesn't work out. Astralis can still get away with, you know, 3 rounds at best, which would make it somewhat respectful, but this is still quite scary. They need to hope for more.
Oh, but Dennis Law, that's a huge off angle being taken there. Mister thinks he could shove, push, and now Nicky, again at the bottom of the ramp, is going to shut them down at the door. And the bomb's on the ground once again for Astralis. And we're looking at another dud here for the Danes. They push through. They keep trying. But nothing works here for Astralis. We're going to see 13 for 500.
Yeah, at this point, they're just going for the desperation plays, right? I mean, you got to swing. You got to hope for something random to work out. You've just been completely shut down. Blame, left in a 1 versus 5. What can you do about it? It's been so one-sided here on Ancient.
I mean, it's a half buy, sure. Talk all you want about it, but I mean, they had the AKs. They had the ability to be threatening in this round, and this is the results. It's just instant there from Nicky. He's supposed to be the IGL. He's supposed to be Glaive's counterpart, but absolutely not. He's 15 and 5.
Yeah. Well, at this point, we can't really speak about individual performance either. I mean, yeah, Ships is 20 and 6, Nicky is 15 and 5, Rainmaker's 13 and 5. But as a unit, 500 just have looked so solid. Everyone's just winning their fights. Patrick doesn't get to see a lot of people, to be fair to him. Yeah. I mean, everything just gets done by his teammates. 13-1. We could be in for another 14-1. Or rather, 1 and 14 T-half for Astralis here in the second consecutive game. And that's really going to put them backs turned against the wall, on the ropes, with a final chance to make playoffs if they beat Complexity. Still not writing them off. We could be in for a spectacular comeback here, but it just looks highly unlikely at this point.
For now, though, it's just 500 running a double setup inside a cave. Just inviting Astralis in.
Yeah, it's the big tempo change as well from 500 as well, right? I mean, in some of those rounds, they're really proactive, just locking Astralis out. And in others, they're just playing from the back. They're just letting Astralis have the entire map. And you can see Astralis proactively looking for those fights, but they're just not getting presented to them.
Mm-hmm. Passive setup here from 500. They know what they want to play in. Nicky's going to start clearing out these angles, and BlameF will finally win one of these fights. It wasn't Ships on the other end, so he might have a chance to get it. Now the flashes are in. Smoke deployed by the CTs to shut them down inside of Donut, but there's also a flank. BlameF has snuck inside of the spawn, but I think Ships is aware. Ships spots the barrel. Ships gets the kill, but now they run it back to B. It's a wild goose chase as they run back and forth, but Patrick on the off angle could cut the cross. First headshot found, commits to the spray. It's only damage on the Zipek, but Ships wants to close it down. The bomb planter stuck on the site. Christo, no room to maneuver. Has to fight his way out of position to get out of dodge, and he does. He finds Denislaw. Another kill for Christo, but the 2 kills do come through before the kills from Astralis. It'll be 14-1 again here.
In between 500 and Astralis, the second consecutive 14-1 that Astralis find themselves in a matter of 2 games. They were down the same score after the first half against Fnatic on their previous game on Overpass. Now looking to potentially pick up the pistol round and try and get a couple rounds here. Get the confidence up. The Bulgarians look in touching distance of victory.
Oh boy, but let's see what Glaive's dualies can do to try and at least stem the tide.
Yeah, delay the inevitable.
You think it's the inevitable. We'll see as he pushes forward, though. Oh, it's just an instant headshot. And he even gets the next in line. It just couldn't get worse here. I mean, now it's only Zipex. He's an armorless USP.
Yeah.
And Rainmaker single-handedly cleaned up the entire B defense. Welcome to 15 here for 500. And this could be the most dominant map of the Espoo so far.
Yeah, this will be the most dominant map. If they close it out 16-1, that's insane. And who would have thought, after all the possible matchups that we have in both Group A and Group B, it's going to be 500 to take down Astralis like that. That's crazy.
and what form we saw Astralis in earlier on in the day, and then the capitulation. This has been some rough stuff.
Yeah,
talk about the match
on the T sides. I'm still comfortable that if they start this game on the CT side, they will probably make it a lot closer. But just having those rough starts on the offense and not able to get past, it was the same against Fnatic, is the same here. And 500 are not even going to give them the benefit of, picking up the pistol, getting a couple rounds here on the CT side. They
sure.
have to make it work on the force.
Talk about the start as well against Fnatic. Like, that was 14-1 against Fnatic. Yeah. Now it's just a collapse. I mean, they still have one more BO1 to play against Complexity. I mean, they're looking with earnest eyes right now. I mean, maybe their opponent was as big a fish as they thought they were.
Yeah, that's going to be a brawl and a half. Still, though, Astralis do have a bit of a buy coming up. A Deagle for Zip, 2 scouts for Glaive and Crystal, and 2 Pharmacists in the mix. It's going to be the B play for 500 to try and make their way into playoffs.
Oh, but Zipek, oh, he wasn't spotted. Hold on, but just a moment. But he will get cleaned up. Glaive actually does snipe one through the smoke and does keep on firing. Patrick is low as well. I mean, still chances here for Astralis, but the post plant just starts to get established here. Oh, the boost. This is so nasty. Up and above. I mean, it gets a little bit of tag damage. A great flash, but okay. A headshot through the wall. That'll do here for Glaive. But inside the smoke, come on. It couldn't get more rattier than this. He gets 2 kills off the back of it. And now Ships even. He has the molly. That is so rude.
It's not going to touch him. They can just take it. He's
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. It has to be the knife or maybe the spam. It doesn't matter. It's 500 into playoffs. A 16-1 over Astralis. Who